Namaste yogis, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. So today's practice is a CNEG class and you want to have your blankets handy. See if you can have a big towel or a firm blanket and then whatever else you have been using, maybe your 2 blocks or your other blankets for extra support, have your pillow or bolster and your strap. So before we begin, you want to take your either your big towel or your blanket and we're gonna roll it. So those of you who have been in class at the studio, then you know how we do it. If you haven't, then this is how we do it. We go onto that folded side. You want your towel folded in a way that is long, that it can you're gonna lay on it and you want to cover your whole spine. So go onto a tiny noodle and just really go into the edges and tuck in. You want your blanket or your towel to be very tight. That's important. Otherwise, you won't get the effect that we're looking for, that massage and you'll see. So it's really getting into the edges. And maybe you fold a little more. If the fabric allows you to go really tightly, then you do that. Another thing that you can use at home, if you have, those pool noodles, you can use that instead, if you were to have that available, instead of a blanket. A yoga mat can also do, by the way. It's just a yoga mat might be, it flattens too quickly. So we will lose the effect. But if that's what you have available, you can do that today. And then we can try with a bigger towel or some other prop any other time. So once you have your noodle, just that folded part, you're going to place it towards the floor and have your prop along the mat. Have the other blanket at the top so that your head doesn't fall back, and have one more for later. All right? Okay, so the first thing that I need to explain, I'm not gonna do my joke. So we're gonna have the tailbone right in between the lower edge of the blanket. So get right into the tailbone here. And basically between your butt cheeks, and then go back and then try to get your spine moved so that your spine is against the blanket. Then some of you might still have the head on the blanket. Some of you might have to go a little higher so that you can feel the tailbone resting on it. If your neck and your head are no longer on the blanket, some of you might feel okay to let the top of the head or the back of the head rest on the floor. If that is not pinching your neck and is allowing a neutral curvature, you're welcome to stay there. Some of you won't feel comfortable there, so you can take your blanket, the other one, and place it under the head. So the point here is that you feel supported and that your neck is as neutral as you can. Perfect. Now, once again, you may move side to side, making sure that your blanket is all along the spine. Bring your hands by your sides, shoulders towards the floor. They might not touching depending how big is your blanket. And don't worry about that. That's not what we're looking for. You just want to find your center. Keep your knees bent for now, your foot soles on the floor. Walk your feet mat apart and allow your knees to fold towards each other at the center. Make sure the weight rolls onto the inner edges of your feet so you're not leaving your foot soles flat and then pushing your knee in, because that is extending the ankle in a way that we don't want to, and that's also torquing the knee. So rolling the weight onto the inner edges of the feet. Relax here, close your eyes, relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your buttocks. Notice your back against your blanket. If you feel like you're not right center with the noodle, you can move until you find that center. Soften your spine, soften your neck included, relax your jaw, your face. Soften your tummy, let it expand as you breathe in. Let it fall as you breathe out. Rising. Falling. Rising. Falling. Breathing deeply. We're going to start connecting with Dirga Pranayama, the 3-part breath. Rising into your tummy, expand. Into the sides of your body, side ribs, armpits. Into your chest, collarbone, all the way to the top. Exhale, chest, side ribs, and navel down. Rising energy of prana, breathing deeply, expand. Grounding and cleansing energy of apana, breathing out. Rising. Falling. I will leave you to it. Don't let your mind wander. Take 3 more breaths here, full deep breaths. And when you're ready, heel to your feet closer together. One at a time, extend your legs onto the floor. Relax your legs, let your toes flare if they do that. Observe. Notice if this bothers your lower back, and if it does, you can always return to resting your feet on the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, relax here. Observe for a few moments. Take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you are ready, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor. You can have your blanket, the one that you had next to you. Make yourself like a little bolster for your legs. If you have your blocks handy, you can use your blocks, 1 or 2 blocks, that's okay. And measure your toes, so bring your toes together and then let them face forward so that you know that your toes and your knees are pointing on the same direction. Lift the toes, spread them wide, bring your arms by your sides, and bend your elbows. So we were working with this with our mudras. This is really good to train our brains. It's gonna go on to Gyan Mudra here, and as you inhale, fill up your tummy, fill up your back body. And as you exhale, bring your elbows closer together and switch your mudra for your pointer. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. You don't need to touch the floor. Actually, if you cannot touch the floor, please do that. The one thing that is going to be in your way of not going all the way to the floor is the mind. The mind will start telling you that more is better, and if you can do just a little less, just maybe go about 75% of your full range of motion. Same thing when your elbows come closer together. Don't force them into touching. You want to find that place that works for you as well. So open as you inhale. Close as you exhale. Gyan Mudra as you inhale, thumbs and index touch. And pointer or Sukhi Mudra as you exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Try to keep your glutes relaxed, your legs relaxed, so you have your blanket or blocks there, and although you are holding them between your legs, you're not squeezing or just making sure it doesn't fall. And the next time you inhale, with control, release your hands by your sides, palms facing up, observe. Bring your hands by your sides, palms facing down. As you take your next inhalation, bring your hands overhead and back. You can stay with Gyan Mudra and switch to pointers when your fingertips point away from you towards the back, and back to center as you exhale into Gyan Mudra, all the way to the floor. Inhale, reaching back. At the very top, you might switch for pointer. You don't have to. Reach. Exhale, switch. If you find spots of tension between your shoulder blades, if you feel that massage against the noodle and it feels right, you can stay there, maybe bounce a little bit so that you can massage that spot. One more round. Inhale, all the way back, arms overhead. And when you're ready, exhale, return, hands by your sides. Release your hands at an A-frame, palms facing up, observe. Relax your toes on the floor. When you're ready, extend your legs, keep the blocks or blanket between your legs, and flex your feet, pressing your heels away from you. Some of you will touch the floor with your calves, with your hamstrings, some of you won't, and that's fine. Just pay attention. Maybe one leg touches, the other one not so much. Bring the fingertips at the top of the shoulders, and on your next exhalation, move your elbows down towards the rib cage. Like if you were drawing a snow angel on the floor with your elbows. Inhale, elbows out to the sides and up. And exhale back down. Find your rhythm. Meanwhile, your legs are active, your feet are active, maybe your toes are even spreading. And the same idea, if you find a spot of tension on your upper back, you can bounce on the spot and continue when you're ready. The other thing is that you want to make sure you're pressing your heels away from you and try to slightly tuck your tailbone, especially if you're feeling some tenderness on your lower back. If this is a no for your back or for your hips, bend your knees and rest your foot soles on the floor with the blanket in between your legs, and that's okay. Elbows up on the inhalation. Notice how your shoulders come up towards the ears. With your fingertips, try not to let them go, and on the exhale, bring them down. Inhale, elbows across the floor, up. Don't let your mind wander. Although your legs are not moving, they're active, so you are creating a lot of energy here. One more breath. Release your hands by your sides. Relax your feet, relax your legs, observe. Breathe deeply. Wiggle your toes, move your feet side to side, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor. You can put your blanket, the one you had between the legs, put it aside. And now tuck your tailbone a little bit. Make sure that you are comfortable and that your neck is not tense. Bring your hands out to the sides at a T position. And as you take your next exhalation, bring your right knee up. Breathe deeply here. Inhale. And on the next exhalation, bring the opposite hand off the floor. See if you can keep that arm 1 or 2 inches off the ground and breathe. Soften your neck. You may extend your leg and your arm goes up towards the sky. You may flex your foot. Breathe. And we're going to do 10 of this. As you inhale, leg and arm goes down. And as you exhale, they return up. Inhale out and down. Exhale up. Notice how the opposite leg is working hard to keep you balanced. Keep that left foot active. Your toes might be lifted. Five more, I believe. If you're counting at home, good for you. Slow, deep breaths. The slower the movement, the better. So that's the thing about this this practice, that it is very, very slow, very mindful. It's never about perfection. The alignment is so that you can keep your body safe, not to make it look a certain way. And when you are done with your 10 rounds, you're gonna bend your knee, rest your foot sole on the floor, and relax your left arm on the ground. Your right knee and left arm. And breathe. If you've lost it, tuck your tailbone and bring your left knee up and breathe deeply here. Meanwhile, your right foot is active, your toes might be lifted. When you're ready, you may bring that right arm off the floor a few inches off the ground. Maybe on your next exhalation, extend the leg and bring your right arm up. Maybe flex your foot. Don't let the right knee flare. And as you inhale, arm and leg goes down. And as you exhale, they go up. 10 of those, count your own. Your opposite leg is going to try to help. It's gonna try to move out or in, and we're not gonna let it. The right toes might try to grip, and we're not gonna let them do that either. Keep your left foot active, so flexing right from the ankle to the best of your ability. And notice how that affects your hamstring and your hip flexor. Slow, deep breaths. The movement matches the pace of your breath. When you are done with your 10 rounds, release your foot sole back onto the floor. Arm back down to the floor. And take a few moments and observe. You may extend both legs. Watch your breath. When you are ready, bend your knees, bring your footstools on the floor. Once again, adjust your pelvis so it's not pinching into your back. Bring your knees towards the chest, one at a time. And you might start noticing the wobbly of your body, and that's the effect I was talking about at the beginning. If you have a mat or something that it flattens, or your blanket is loose, it flattens, then you won't get this wobbly feeling, which is pretty awesome. It's fun. Now, see if you can bring your arms off the floor and breathe. Notice how your core engages. Maybe bring your legs at a 90, flex your feet, maybe not. And this is a nice massage for your back. Maybe your hands start going up, maybe not. Breathe. You can play with your arms if you want. Inhale out and exhale up. If this is too much for your back or for your hips, you can bring your footstools back to the floor, or you can play around with this. Make sure it feels right on your back, on your hips, on your neck. Don't put any tension on the neck. Shaking is normal, and it's good. Your stabilizers are being woken up. And when you're ready, release your feet to the floor. Extend your legs. Watch your breath. Don't let your mind wander. And let's see if we can hug our knees. Bring your footstools to the floor. Bring your knees up. See if you can get a hold of your knees. Bring them as close to your chest as you can. Try to stay at the center. And when you're ready, it's okay to laugh, by the way. You can come back to center, feet down, and move onto your favorite side. Lay on a fetal position for a few moments. Observe your breath. Use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. And we're gonna go towards the back of the mat. You can keep your noodle, put it aside, and have one of your blankets under your knees if you need extra padding. And go on to your tabletop position. Now from tabletop, draw your shoulders into its sockets and draw your navel in to adjust your back and your pelvis. Gaze is in between the hands. Press the top of the feet on the floor. Now take a look between your knees. Make sure you don't get to see your feet because your feet are in line with the knees. Now from here, as you take your next breath, you're gonna start moving your body into circular motion. So getting that movement right into your wrist. We're gonna do 5 circles in one direction and then 5 on the opposite direction. And when you're ready, come back to center. Rest your elbows on the floor. Palms facing one another. Curl your fingers into the palms and your thumbs are facing up. Draw the shoulders into its sockets and go into a shoulder dip so you want your chest closer to the floor. Move your hands away from towards the outer edges of the mat, so a little bit wider than your elbows. Let your head dangle and move your head side to side. Now you can allow your hips, your pelvis, to go into an anterior pelvic tilt, so you have an arch on your lower back. Your tailbone is rising. Your belly can drop towards the floor. Keep your feet active and pressing down onto the ground. Maybe let your head relax here. If this is too much for your neck, keep your gaze on the floor or slightly forward. Watch for the neck. Breathe. Make sure your mudras are not too tight. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you're ready and with control, flip your palms down, walk your elbows towards you, start coming up onto your knees. Inhale, tailbone up, drop your belly, look forward or up, eyes of the elbows face forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round your back, let your head dangle. Inhale, start with the tailbone, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Rising as you inhale. Falling as you exhale. Put equal weight on your hands. We'll do one more. Come back to center as you inhale. Curl the toes under and pick up the knees. Push back onto downward facing dog. Push the chest towards the thighs. Walk it out if you need to. So release one heel at a time onto the floor. And bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can let your tailbone rise. We all have different shapes. We all are going to look different. Just want to make sure this feels right on your back body. You feel the extension of your hamstrings, your back. Eyes of the elbows might face forward. Put equal weight on left and right. Relax your neck. Move your head yes. Move your head no. No tension is on the neck. Remember, you can stay on your knees for tabletop position, cat and cows. You can go on your elbows for dolphin if this is not good for your wrist today. The next time you inhale slowly and with control, bring yourself back down. And as you exhale, bring your toes to touch. Walk your knees apart. Send your glutes back to the heels and rest your elbows to the floor. So you can stay here and stack your fists, rest your forehead down, or you can maybe bring your forehead all the way down to the floor. It's different for everybody, so I feel more comfortable with my fist under my forehead and also with my knees wide apart. So for this one, when you go with your knees apart, it just allows space for you to create an extension of your back rather than rounding it. So notice that. Breathe deeply. Let your hips soften. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, bring your hands under the shoulders on the inhalation and push yourself up on the exhalation. Have your props handy, your noodle and your blanket. We're going towards the wall, so find a spot near a wall. You can move your device if you don't have to bring your mat, you can, but you can just go ahead and sit against the wall. Remove the extra flesh. So what you want is to have a neutral back on your lower back. So for that, you can have your noodle and place it on your lower back. So try to rest or bring your tailbone towards the wall and try to bring your rib cage towards the wall. Now with your blankets, make sure you have space between your feet. So about a fist and a half distance. The same goes for your knees. If you need extra support for your neck, you can make a small noodle with your blanket and place it at the back of the neck. Relaxing here. So this might not be super comfortable. It's not. Flex your feet, spread your toes wide, breathe deeply. Bring your hands by your sides, palms face forward. So allowing your blades to move towards each other. Close your eyes and breathe. Do your very best to rest your rib cage against the wall. Keep engaging your shoulder blades. Pull your fingertips away from you. Like if you were trying to touch farther away from you, but don't move your arms. Like don't move your hands off the ground. If you suffer from neck pain, upper back pain, this is going to put demand in your whole back and the whole back of your body, extending your hamstrings, creating a neutral pelvic tilt that will allow your muscles to give you space so that you're not sending all that tension into the upper parts of your body. Especially on these days, and we might not be as active as we have, or if we are active, maybe is doing housework or things that keeps us hunching forward, reaching stuff. And so this can help you just to open up through the upper frontal part of your body, just to create that balance. Sitting on our computers, those of us who are working from home, sitting on the computer or studying or just hunching forward, that can create a lot of pain for the upper back, for the neck if you have neck problems. So this is a good one to practice. In Hatha, we call this pose Dandasana, and usually we don't do it against the wall or with the props, although I think we should, because it's definitely feels much better. Breathing here. Make sure that your quads are engaged and notice your kneecap. So you want to rotate your legs, so that means that maybe press your heels away and think about the center of your knees, pointing at the center of your toes. And sometimes the knees roll in. So you're gonna try to engage your legs, lift the quads, and think like if you were trying to squeeze blocks in between your inner thighs, and that will help your legs to rotate out. Breathe deeply here, almost there. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And release. You can take your noodle out of the way. And you can take your blankets out of the way, shake the tension off. You may bend your knees and move them side to side. Awesome. We're gonna go onto a stand, not on your knees actually. You're not gonna like this one, and you do what you can. So we haven't done it in a while in a class, but I thought today was a good day to do it. You're gonna go against the wall. I'm just gonna show you here what we're doing, and then you check with yourself. So you want to either have your mat and a blanket, or 2 blankets is fine, or fold your blanket quite well for your knees. And imagine that I have the wall here. I'm gonna actually go against the wall, but I just wanna show you sideways. So you're gonna have your knees right on the blanket. You have your noodle. So taking advantage of that nice noodle that you made, you can put it at the arches of your ankles. All right, so now from here against the wall, you're gonna press your pubic bone against the wall. Some of you will get the hip bones and the pubic bone. Squeeze your bum and bring your arms at a goalpost posture for the Aztec pose. So that is the pose that we are doing. And have yourself against the wall. You may have your noodle there if you need it. I'm gonna use it today. And then walk your body. Have about fist distance between the knees. A little wider is fine. Watch for your feet. And press your body against the wall. Bring your arms at a goalpost posture. You can go into your mudra. Rest your forehead against the wall. Breathe. You might start feeling the demand on your back body, your lower back, so squeeze your buttocks. You might feel your quads working. We'll take one more breath here, full deep breath. And with control, release your hands, put them on the wall, walk your knees away, be gentle. And when you're free, you can bring one foot, hold yourself and come up and walk it out. That was fun. So you're gonna have your blanket and fold it again. If you have socks at home, take them off or make sure you're on a surface that is not slippery. It's important. Look after yourself. So for your blanket, you want to fold it so that it's about 4 inches wide. And then walk your feet away from you. And sit on your imaginary chair. Now, my feet are kind of slippery, so I will put my mat instead. All right, so you can do the same thing. Tuck your tailbone, pushing your sacrum against the wall. Lift the toes, and your heels are as wide as your knees. Your toes might be a little closer together so that the outer edges of your feet might be parallel to each other. Now draw your rib cage in, press your pubic bone forward, tuck your tailbone, bring your arms out to the sides, breathe deeply here. On your inhalation, bring your hands up. You may cross so your fingertips touch your elbows, not your shoulders. Now inhale out, cross the other way as you exhale. Meanwhile, you are engaging your inner thighs. Some of you might want to go lower to go at a 90-degree angle. I won't, but you're welcome to do that. It's not how low you go onto your air bench. You really want to engage your inner thighs and squeeze your blocks or your blanket. You really want to press through your heels onto the ground and press your sacrum against the floor. So if you suffer from knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, this is gonna help. You're gonna hurt everywhere else but. One more. And inhale out to the sides. Exhale, shoulders back and down. Awesome. Now when you're ready, you're going to help yourself out of the wall, walk it out, and shake the tension off. You can still use your blanket. If you have a book or blocks, you can do blocks instead. We're going to go onto a, actually we're going to do something else first. So we're going to go on to the counter stretch squat. You love this one. You're going to take, again, your blocks or blanket in between your knees. And now from here, go by the wall. And then walk your feet far apart until you find a place that works for you. So that means that your hips, your knees, and your ankles are at the same level, but also your arms are extended and you're not in pain. So that's a place where you want to be. If you need to make any adjustments, you do that. Now as you inhale, go high on your the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, bend your knees and push your hips back. So sideways will look something like this first, and then you push the wall and you're squatting and you're sending your tailbone up and you're on the balls of your feet and your palms are facing forward, your head is relaxed, so your neck is, your gaze is down, you're not gripping at the toes, and you're thinking about pushing the hips up like you're going onto an anterior pelvic tilt. If you have a big hinge on your mid-back and it hurts, draw the rib cage in instead, but still send your tailbone up. Now, from here, squeeze your blocks or blanket as you exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. You are against the wall. I'm just showing you sideways so that you get an idea what's happening. And we'll do 3 more. Squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. You're going to mindfully walk towards the front, towards the wall. Walk it out, come out, and shake the tension off. And for the next one, if you have your blocks, you're going to have and place your blocks under the balls of the feet. If you don't have blocks, you can have your blanket, walk it closer to the wall, and bring the balls of the feet on the blanket, your noodle, and have about a fist distance between the big toes, maybe a little wider, heels slightly wider apart, relax your toes, tuck your tailbone, and bring your hands by your sides. And now press your heels down, press your hamstrings back, press your rib cage back, tuck your chin slightly. If you need to go higher, you can use books. At home, if you have a big book, you can have books. You can wrap them with a towel. If you want to get the height of 2 blocks, about 3 to 4 inches is fine. If you have very tight calves and that's not going to work, or you have any Achilles tendon problems, you can do what I'm doing right now, and that will work really well too. All right, shoulders down, tuck your chin, crown of the head towards the ceiling, breath is flowing. Press your legs back, unless you know you hyperextend your knees. We'll take one more breath here, full deep breath. And open your eyes if they were closed, and be mindful as you come out down off your props. Put them aside now, walk it out. You can lift your feet, rotate them, maybe wiggle your toes and curl them. Other side, rotate your foot and curl and bend your toes. Go against the wall. And bring your bum against the wall. Have your right foot out to the right. Your toes point towards the right. Your left toes point straight ahead. Now, your hips are going to go sideways. We're going to let them do that. That's fine. But don't let it pinch. Don't let the head of the femur jam into the hip socket. So if you start feeling like it's tensing or it's torquing in a way, don't go that far. Adjust the position. Squeeze your buttocks, tuck your tailbone, bring your arms out to the sides at a T position. Your heel, the left heel might be touching the floor, but it can be a couple inches away from it. Same thing, well, actually your right foot is about a foot away from the wall. The next time you exhale, hinge towards the right and bring your hand down towards the floor. So you can put your hand on the wall or on the outer edge of your leg, your right leg, and your left hand can go up to the sky. Your bum is engaged, you're lifting through the pelvic floor muscles, you're drawing your navel in, and you're engaging your shoulder blades towards each other. Now for your neck, you can be looking up, you can be looking forward, you can be looking down. Just find that place that will work for you. Feet are active, so your toes might be lifted. If this is too much for your shoulder, your left shoulder, you can rest your hand on your lumbar spine and try to bring your top shoulder towards the wall. Same with your top hip towards the wall. And don't obsess with touching, it's not a goal. Just notice how your body, once you change your alignment, what muscles engage. Reach up with the top hand as you inhale, and as you exhale, pull yourself up, bring yourself up at the T position. And exhale, release. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but first walk it out. I'm just gonna move my props out of the way. And so when you are ready, walk your feet apart, then now your left foot goes out to the left, toes out, and your right toes, let your toes point straight ahead. Awesome, now from here, remember your hip is gonna go to the side, don't let it jam into the socket. And reach out to the sides as you inhale, T position, blades together and down. Exhale, reach towards the left and then side bend. And once again, you may bring your hand on the outside of your leg or on the floor, and your right hand may go up to the sky or maybe place it on your lower back. Adjust your neck so your gaze can be anywhere that feels right for you, and breathe. Whichever position that you pick or that your body allows you to have, think about rotating your torso. So once again, we're trying to guide the top hip and shoulder back towards the wall, but without making it a goal. One more breath. Reach up with your top hand as you inhale. Exhale, pull yourself up, T position. Inhale here. And exhale down. Awesome. Shoulders back and down. Heel to your feet closer together. And shake the tension off. You can stay by the wall, by the way. Have, you know what, never mind, not fist distance. Lift your feet and let your toes land anywhere they need to go. And then bend your knees. Make sure your knees and your toes point on the same direction. From here, bring the heels off the ground and bring your hands into Adi Mudra. So thumbs inside the palms, make it into a fist. Hands by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms back, as far back as you can. Now as you exhale, sweep your arms forward, bend your knees and lower. And check with your knees, don't let them collapse, don't let them flare. Try to keep them pointing at the same direction as your toes. Now as you inhale, come up, hands by your sides. Exhale, release your mudra. We'll do it again. Inhale, mudra, thumbs inside the palms. Reach up, arms back. Squeeze your bum. Exhale, sit on your chair almost. Heels off the floor. Inhale, arms up, arms down, heels up, and exhale, release. We'll do it again. Inhale, heels off the floor, squeeze your bum. Exhale, bend your knees and sit on your chair. Inhale, come up, and exhale, release. Shake the tension, and we're going down onto the floor, no fancy way. I'll just go ahead and find your way onto your back. I'm just gonna move my mat so I have space for my arms. Awesome. Have your strap and your bolster handy. If you need a blanket under your head, you can have one too. And find your way onto your back, adjust your head, breathe deeply here. And keep your foot soles on the floor, by the way. You're gonna place your bolster on the right side of the mat or your pillow. Then take the strap and place it on the ball of the left foot and extend your leg. Flex in here. Adjust, make sure that your knee is not locked. You can have a micro bend or a deep bend, depending what works. Opposite knee is bent if your hips like it that way. Otherwise, you might extend the leg and flex your foot. Hold the strap with the opposite hand. And on your next exhalation, bring your left hand at a T position, rotate your pelvis to the right, and rest your leg on your prop. Keep your shoulder grounded, your left shoulder. Keep flexing through that left foot. Gaze can go to the left if that works for you, or keep your nose pointing up. Next time you inhale with control, come back to center. And as you exhale, you may take the strap and rest your leg down. Take a few moments, observe. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So pass your prop to the left, bend your knees, rest your feet on the ground, and take your strap and place it on the ball of the right foot. Extend your leg, and once again, check in with your hip, with your knee. Flexing right from the ankle, not just the toes, but the whole foot. Now hold on to the, hold the strap with the opposite hand and bring your right hand at a T. Once again, if you choose, you may extend the left leg. Inhale here, and as you exhale, lifting the right hip, rotate your pelvis towards the left, and maybe rest your foot on your prop. And so sometimes you notice that you don't have the same space, so maybe one side did touch the bolster or block or whatever you have, your pillow, and maybe it doesn't on the other side, and that's okay. Bring your gaze maybe away from that right foot and towards the extended arm, or keep your nose up. Next time you inhale with control, come back to center. And as you exhale, release your leg down. Observe. Before we finish our practice, if there is any stretch your body's craving for, maybe hug your knees, rock side to side, maybe happy baby, or anything else, you're welcome to go for it now. And at your own time, come back to center, rest your foot soles on the floor. Allow your foot soles to touch, knees flare. You can have your prop under your knees as always, your pillow or your bolster. Pubic bone, hip bones are balanced, rib cage is grounded, arms are comfortably by your sides. Maybe move your head side to side, making sure that you're not holding on to tension on your neck. Inhale deeply here. And as you exhale, bring your knees up. Release your legs onto the floor. Relax. Notice the sensations of your back body. Notice the quality of your breath. If you need to stay longer on your Shavasana, you are more than welcome to stay there, pause the video, and whenever you're ready, you may continue with us to seal our practice. Otherwise, 3 more breaths. Next time you inhale, wiggle your toes and fingers. Move your feet and hands. Stretch your arms overhead and squeeze every muscle tight, tight, tight. Hold, tense, stretch, prune face. Exhale, release. Again, inhale deeply, stretch and tense and squeeze. Tight, 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 tight. Hold. Exhale, release. Last one, point or flex your toes, squeeze, tense, stretch, tight, 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 prune face. Exhale, relax. And when you're ready, bend your knees, bring your footstools on the floor, move onto your side and take a few moments. Once you get there, just check in with your body, notice your muscles, notice your joints, notice your breath. Use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. And once on the seated position, you're gonna find that place that works. So remember, maybe Sukhasana, cross-legged position, one leg on top of the other. You can sit on your props if you wish. Bring your hands together at the center of the heart and your shoulders back and down. Inhale, deeply expand. Exhale. Inhale to Om. Rub your hands together. Garuda Mudra over your heart. Right hand over left. Interlace your thumbs. Rest on your heart center and Anahata chakra. Breathe. Garuda Mudra of the mystical eagle symbol. Elongate your breaths. It promotes Dirga Pranayama. It helps to expand your diaphragm so you get more oxygen into the lower lobes of your lungs. Toning your nervous system, calming the mind, releasing stress and anxiety. And just finding a peaceful state of the mind through the breath. Inhale to the top of your lungs. Side out. Inhale deeply. Side out. Last one, breathe in. Let all tension out. Tuck your chin onto your chest. Blink your eyes open. Bring your hands together. Rub them once again, building up extra good vibes. And remember to shower yourself with them all around you. And shake off all tensions, all energy that you might carry that you don't need. Leave it behind. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.